Welcome back to Julep and Trubbs Studio. I'm Julie, the illustrator from my small business. I make art and seek out ways to get it out into the world on things like prints, greeting cards, stickers, and fabric. Back in October, or probably the end of October, I made an order on Spoonflower. It's a print-on-demand service for artists who create artwork and have it printed on fabrics. And so I had some artwork that I made, and I made a tea towel for the 2025 year. This panel measures 18 by 27 inches, and the tea towel, when finished, will measure 16 by 24 inches. I ordered a meter of fabric, so there are enough to make 4 tea towels. The fabric I printed my design onto is Spoonflower's linen cotton canvas. It's 45% linen and 55% cotton. So it has the durability of linen and then the softness of cotton. You'll soon see my sewing machine, which is still under its cover. I'll pre-wash the fabric first. I assume that there's a sizing over top. A lot of fabric companies like to use a sizing over the mesh in order for the inks to transfer onto the fibers readily. I'll be throwing in some of these dye catchers, just in case, to absorb any extra dye so it doesn't stain the other parts. I bought these dye catchers at Walmart. So some time has passed, and I've already washed and dried the fabric. You'll need some fabric scissors and a marking tool. Here I'm just using a blue lead retractable pencil, and you'll need a quilting ruler. You could also use a rotary blade instead of scissors, but mine are too dull, so scissors are what I'll use. I'm cutting the 4 tea towel panels up. Here you can see the fabric all crinkly as expected. I just love that tactile quality of linen cotton. I find it easier to work with fabric when it's ironed out. So I brought out my wool pressing mat. And I don't mind ironing, actually. It's strangely relaxing. But I did speed up the footage, or else you'd be watching me iron forever. I wish I could work as fast as this. And I only noticed this while editing, but my camera is slowly shifting downwards. The tea towels are going to be sewn with mitered corners, so I'll walk you through my process. We need to make a 1/2 inch fold on all 4 sides. In order to do that, I don't measure a 1/2 inch line from the edge. I actually measure the line at 1 inch. If I had drawn the 1/2 inch and started folding along it, I'm not able to see the line any longer since part of the line is obscured by the fold. I just find it's easier to fold to the 1 inch line, which would make it a 1/2 inch fold. With this method, the folds are a lot straighter. I do this for all 4 sides. So here you can see me making that fold to the 1 inch line. Essentially, I'm halving an inch. I finger press first, then run an iron over it. I do this for all 4 sides. At the corners, just fold it over. Nothing fancy. Okay, all 4 sides have the first 1/2 inch fold. Now you'll just take the edge and fold it onto itself for a second fold. it's a bit thick at the corners, so I just use a clip to hold it down. Finger press and run an iron over it for a nice crease. Looks like I'm running out of water. Again, do this for all 4 sides. And don't do what I'm doing here. I'm filming and ironing. My arms are dangerously flanking a hot iron there. Okay, all 4 sides have been folded twice. Now we'll take a corner, any corner, you'll open up one side and the adjacent side. So you'll see the raw edges that folded over. Now take the point of the corner and fold it over. And you can see the 2 raw edges touching. Run your iron over it to make a crease. Don't burn your finger like I almost did. Open up the fold and draw a line along that crease. Then fold the edges away from you so that the right sides of the fabric are facing each other. I use a clip to keep the edges aligned. You'll head over to the machine and sew on top of that drawn line. Let's see what we have. And you'll take your scissors to snip away the extra fabric, about 1/8 to 1/4 inch away from the stitches. I'll clip the loose threads out of the way and turn the corner inwards. You can use a pointed but blunt object to help get a nice pointy corner. Okay, so that worked out. And now I just have to do the other 3 corners. I should also mention, if you want this design, I'll leave a link in the description below to my Spoonflower page, so you can buy either a finished tea towel already sewn up, or a fat quarter length of fabric for 1 tea towel that you can sew yourself. There's also the option, you can also buy a meter of fabric to make 4 tea towels, as I'm doing now. The other option is to design your own tea towel. I actually learned how to set up my design with all the dates using a class from Jennifer Nichols. The class is available in her membership. I'll leave a link below. I am in her membership, but I'm not sponsored at all. She doesn't even know I'm mentioning this. I just find that so many of her Procreate classes in her membership are so helpful. And the live classes and Q&As that we have are a lot of fun. She's built up a really great community there. Okay, now all the corners are pointed inward and they're nice and sharp. So all we need to do now is iron down all the edges so that we have them as double fold, and we'll make them nice and crispy so that it's a lot easier to sew the seams down as a top stitch. I thought I'd share with you the journey this meter of fabric took. It took a while for me to get it here where I live in Atlantic coast of Canada, in Nova Scotia. I ordered the fabric, like I said, mid to late October 2024. After it left North Carolina, where Spoonflower is located, which is on the east coast of the US, it made its way westward to California, where it sat for a number of days. Ooh, there goes my camera. Finally, it made its way up north to Vancouver, British Columbia, in Canada. And that's when trouble hit. Oh, and here I'm back at the machine and I'm sewing down about 1/8 of an inch from the inside seams, and I'll do that all the way around so that all the edges are closed. When you're at the corner, you're just going to keep your needle down and you'll raise your presser foot. You'll rotate your fabric 90 degrees so that you can continue sewing down the edge. Now back to the story. Where was I? Oh yes, the fabric was in Vancouver, Canada. And so that's when trouble hit. Our postal service, Canada Post, went on strike. And they went on strike for about a month, which was a difficult time for everyone. It was a period of time before Christmas when everyone is sending gifts and cards for their families. So it was a hard time for everyone, families, small businesses, and also the postal workers. The strike ended just before Christmas, but there was so much backlog that it's only now in January when things are getting back to normal. And so December 20th is actually when I received my fabric. So my meter of fabric actually took quite a journey over Christmas. I wanted to mention here, I added some ribbon to the corner, which you can use as a loop to hang your tea towel. Before I sewed the seam, I tucked in the grosgrain ribbon underneath the fold. I just pinned it or clipped it to keep it down, keep it in place. And when I stitched along, I know it's going to be strong enough to hold it securely. We were at Michael's craft store and found these wooden poster hangers with magnets. I wanted to see if they'd be strong enough to hold the tea towel with the seams having so much thickness to them. I think any thicker it might be a challenge, but I can report that they work really well with this linen cotton canvas from Spoonflower. I actually really love the way how they turned out. If you decide to sew up a tea towel of your own design or any fabric you have at home, leave a comment below and tell me how it went. I think it's a great way to display it as wall art, and you can change the designs as the seasons pass, and they make great gifts as well. I hope this tutorial was helpful and has you thinking about making some at home. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Bye-bye.